And so in that way, she could get their produce early, but still say no to it at times when it might be harmful to somebody or be conceivably harmful to somebody who's close by. So Kathleen, in making this resale policy, wasn't trying to do anything but be extremely conservative in making the season longer, because their stuff's 2-3 weeks ahead of what gets ripe here, and yet having stuff for the customers. Just take, for instance, she would call me up in May and say, do we have asparagus yet? And there's customers asking for asparagus. So nobody here grows asparagus, and so we say, she says, does anybody want to bring asparagus? I mean, would you bring some asparagus? So that we would do that. In those early weeks, we also, it turns out, are a food vendor, because we make more than 100 loaves of bread in the middle of summer, 250 loaves of bread, and sell every week. So we're actually one of the biggest food vendors, too, which Russell may not be aware of. We sell maybe 150 cinnamon rolls. We have gluten-free bread. We're the only gluten-free booth at the market. And so we also have jams and jellies from our orchards. And so we're kind of a cross-category kind of people. I've got 12 kids. We put all the kids to work all the time. And so the idea that they didn't know that we were a farm that was just outside the limits, when we're kind of one of the biggest contentious problems that they have with the resale, is ludicrous. That was an exclusionary policy to make 150 miles be just less than the Boothmans. That way we wouldn't fit in their scenario and we could be excluded. And I find that just too convenient and really unfair. And so they are two separate issues. And I think that, we have cousins that go to markets all over the west side of Washington. And resale is and can be very detrimental. When we see, when the kids' cousins see their own peaches being sold by somebody else that they sold them to back on the farm, and then those people brought them to the North Bend market, and the market manager doesn't know, we understand the problems with resale. So that is a tricky business. But if there aren't any blueberries and you have tons of people wanting blueberries, and we're not interfering with anybody else being blueberries, that's one of the reasons she instituted a limited policy. We were in contact very closely with the market manager every week. And I saved all those emails and all those texts just in case we'd be in such a situation like this where people were telling lies about whether or not we were complying. And that we were conscientious to comply week by week by week so that we weren't stepping on toes. There were people always shadowing our booth and saying bad things, and I would have a vendor come up and say, shh, don't tell anybody, because they'll quit sending me these emails, but they're sending around bad emails about you guys and you don't even know about it. And these are people that are now presently on the Farmers Market Advisory Board, which is why I don't have a lot of faith in the way the advisory board is working right now. So the commission to me seems like it having something with more disinterested people with a little bit open mind is good. Whether we want to change the resale policy is something that's a good thing for them to decide. It is I just want you to know that it is a really conservative resale policy. It's not open-ended like there are in many markets. And it may disappear over time, but if I'm selling 400 pounds of blueberries every week, then there's a lot of people, again, Mr. Durfee is selling them, or Eric is selling them, and the blueberry farmer is selling them, then there have been a lot of blueberries going out of the market that we just don't want to say no to. Now, I talked to the same farmer because we actually had a really good relationship with the blueberry guy that came from Quincy, and he's thinking he doesn't want to do blueberries anymore. He may change his mind, but he's thinking more about going into the orchard business. So making assurances that you're going to chop somebody off just because you might get somebody who might want to be a vendor, well, I think that management should be able to have some say about that, and that probably further thought should go into it before you just take their word for it, because they have shown themselves to be hostile toward our family in particular. So this is a big concern to me, that I don't want a policy to be adopted tonight of a $150 or 150-mile limit that would make it so that we're not able to be in the market anymore. Because we have been a really good, faithful, positive presence in the market. We are not vegetable growers, we're fruit. We have apples, peaches, pears, cherries, plums, nectarines, and the children, and this is a farm that's been in my family since 1956. It's been through my grandfather, my father, and now my brother is the primary runner of the orchard. My children work in the orchard. I pick many of the apples, if not over half of the apples myself, that I bring every week. And I don't want anybody to tell me that I'm 19 miles too far, I'm sorry, you can't come anymore. And I don't want them to write to you guys that the only people that they're disallowing is a big industrial farm of Imperial's Garden, when they have never actually been officially in the market, because there was fear that they might be too successful in it. I feel like if food doesn't come to the market that customers want, then the market will make itself obsolete. And I encourage you also to understand that Mr. Tonemaker is a part of that tier I was talking about, which is the organic. Although we have organic cherries, we have had in the past. This year, we're not running them organically anymore, and that's totally another story. But we are kind of like everyman. Mr. Durfee's always kind of been like Walmart, and we've been like Libby's, and they've been like the organics. So there's different levels for different people. And we've been providing top quality stuff. We've been providing peppers also for the coachmans. When nothing else is coming, Perry would call me up and say, can you bring those? And, in this restrictive time, when I couldn't bring peppers, if somebody else had a pepper, then I would have to give them to her at other times outside the market. And but it's important. People need good produce. People are happy to get good produce, and we have thousands and thousands and thousands of people that are happy with the stuff that we've been bringing. So I am really actually pleading with you tonight not to make a decision on 150 miles, which would exclude the Boothmans from the market.
Thank you, Ms. Boothman. Would anyone else like to comment tonight? Please say your name again and address,
yes,
please.
Thank you. Betta Bunzel, 830 South Lynn.
Big voice, please.
Moscow, Idaho.
Yes.
Thank you.
We do vote for representation when we elected the Farmers Market Advisory Board, and I voted for Sarah Boothman. She was on the ticket, and the reason I did that is because these types of issues should be brought to the advisory board and then presented to the council or the commission or whatever it's going to be in the future. We're all very concerned about people as individuals and respecting that. Unfortunately, the Boothmans didn't win from the general market vote. That's how these current advisory members were chosen, by a vote. So, even though that was my preference, that all this representation would have been on there, that's how the general market voted. in terms of whether policies should be now adopted or postponed until a commission fully functions, I want to say that before tonight's decision, what's been on the books and on the internet city website has been the 2012-2013 policies that outline in the very first paragraph who helps develop policy, and that happens to be the elected members of the Farmers Market Advisory Board, along with the Moscow Arts Commission, with input from the public and city staff, and that these market policies were indeed reviewed. I think it's the first time, I could be wrong about this, but they were reviewed by the city attorney. So what was in place when all of these subjects started to be developed back in October was the full authority for the commission or the advisory board to be tasked with doing what they did and driving distances over months of time and many meetings and getting input. And now it sounds like we first created this and encouraged them to do so, and now we're saying now we're going to develop another commission that no longer makes that authority that we gave them before applicable. And I know everyone here, and all the meetings I've attended, is very attentive to freedom and propriety and following of rules. And it seems to me that it's not intentional, but there's these rules that are put forward and adopted and put up on the website, and then they're no longer convenient, so then another set of rules gets put in after folks have done quite a bit of research. And I think we have to trust the authority or the commission or if it was an advisory board at this time that we gave the authority to, that they had made some decisions. Now, all of us are going to take to heart the Boothman's concern, and I know if Linda Christensen were here, she's been the longest term, 36 years, but she's in South America, and I'm unable to ask her opinion, and I'm sure she would feel very strongly that we need to consider the individuals. So I think we put the cart before the horse by talking about adopting a commission before talking about the issues with the people who we had given the task of charge to come up with these ideas. Their full right to speak these out and say what they've done. And I think that's what needs to all be worked out here right now, is how do we ameliorate this? How do we start this new beginnings by including everyone's service that's been provided so far, and in that way welcoming them to continue, and that further people who want to join will feel that it's not futile to participate here, because better watch out, the rules change, and whatever you've done so far may not count anymore.
It's like Wayne may have
I
a
just
question
would like
for
a
you.
clarification on your position.
Okay.
The question is, should we take these recommendations from the Farmers Market Advisory Board and make those changes tonight, or should we not do that, and should we send it to the commission?
Good question, because
That's my question to you, and how do you feel about that?
personally, I feel that it's unfortunate that the Boothmans weren't given the consideration to work it out through the advisory board at the place where they were elected to do so.
Yes, ma'am, I understand that, but that's really not the issue
So-
that's before
so now
us.
I have to
So
say
help us
we-
with making that decision.
We followed all of the criteria of what was put forward to us, and we did what we were told to do, and this is where we stand today, and I think we need to follow that. And then we need to look and see, how does this affect somebody personally? and their income. That's what I think we need to do.
I guess I'm really dense, because I don't understand what your recommendation is to
All
us
right.
to do tonight.
My recommendation is to accept the 4 recommendations that the Farmers Advisory Board has.
Forward it on to the commission?
Yes.
Thank you.
No. I'm not sure that's, You
That's
won't-
why
you-
I can't.
yeah, if I may.
It's not clear what to do.
I heard you say, and Wayne heard you say something else. I heard you say to adopt tonight the 4 recommendations that came from the Farmers Market Advisory Board.
I did.
Okay.
Is that what you heard, Mr. Kraus? Is that what you heard me say? Okay.
Got it.
And that we also need to embrace this other wrinkle to things.